Everyone just kind of loves these homes. I'll tell you a little bit more about who we're looking at here in a second. I'm going to see two of their model homes, show you their awesome amenities here at this location, and then show you an inventory home that's just getting painted. So let's take a look, starting with their model here. This is the Cypress 2 floor plan. So let's go in. Alrighty. So to the right here is going to be the study. And one thing that I like a lot about Bloomfield, it's just kind of got a very personal feel. So this is going to be that 3-car garage. Right now it's an office because this is the model. But I'll show you a little bit later on where some of the design choices are made. And you know we love a deep pantry. This is a great size pantry. Yeah, this is going to be their classic series, so pay attention to some of these finishes. Just look at that. So much natural light. You can tell these people know what they're doing. I'm not sure if you can tell how high the ceilings are, but definitely nice and spacious here. Man, just look at how big this closet is. Talk about crazy good use of space. You know, I love a 3rd rack up top. Not used too much, but definitely used when you need it. So yeah, this is just like a beautiful suite here in the middle of the home. Got so much room over there. They have their own bathroom with tub and shower. Now you'll see sometimes builders just building something that they can get done quickly. You don't get that here. You get quality, intentionality. Now this lot is 65 feet. Here they're building on 50 and 60. There's one more 65 left if you're seeing this video close to time of upload. I know you're seeing that stair there. Yes, this is a 2-story, but it's not a 2-story that is in your face about it. If you're downstairs, you wouldn't know it's a 2-story until you came all the way to the back. This is the alligator room. I like it. I've never seen alligators as a design. Beware of alligator. So cute. And still deep walk-in closet. None of those step-in closets. All right. Now this looks like a lot going on, because it is. This is the design center. So you come here, you talk to Jason, you pick out every little detail that you want. I mean every detail. From flooring to backsplashes, countertops to brick. I like this because you don't have to drive somewhere else. You just sit down here, say, that one looks good. How much is that? All right, factor that in. That looks good. Let's piece it together with this. You get to hold everything. There's no pressure. You really get to envision your house here in this room. So I think that's really cool and something I like that Bloomfield does. But let's keep going. You got the under the stair storage, kind of a game closet style with the shelves. More storage here. Actually pretty deep. I'm not sure if you can tell. It keeps going. gives you a pretty good idea of what you can put in there too. All right, upstairs. I really like the landing here, but also check out this window. It just makes this whole place feel nice and open. And here you go. Here's the reveal. Like, I could hang out here. That's nice. I'm not sure if you're counting the windows, but there are windows everywhere. Because when you have a little bit wider lot, you want to let in some of that light, you know? We're on the second floor, but still have high ceilings. I thought they were gonna get me with the step-in closet, but it's a little bit deeper than that. Just a little bit. Now, one thing you will have to get used to, and this is kind of a note for people with kids, the switches are a little low. That's something I would have to fight with my kids about, but hopefully the novelty wears off soon, right? But yeah, that is the Cypress 2. Let's move on over to their Element series. Check out the Willow. And then I'll give you a little more detail about where we're located and give you some facts and figures later on. Always love when there's two models next to each other. Oftentimes that's showing off their different series. So that's gonna be design packages and whatnot. So this is the Elements. Sounds fancy, modern, futuristic, because that is the more modern option. But surprisingly, a lot of times these are the cheaper ones. So if you're looking at the same type of floor plan with Bloomfield and same square feet, something like that, Elements is gonna be a little bit more budget friendly. So let's take a look. Like I said, this is the Willow floor plan. Already off the bat, love this bay window. Bunch of loud trucks. So it's definitely a cool blend because you have kind of a formal dining area, but a modern one. And once again, so many windows, high ceilings. So this one's definitely geared more towards entertainment. You have the vent hood and then the microwave over here. It's kind of a different design aesthetic there. Now, I have my own thoughts about island sinks, but you may like those. Just look at how much space this is. And once again, beautiful backyard. All right, I'm gonna go master first. Why not? Just look at all that natural light. 4 big windows in the master. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't love that the toilet's right there. I prefer those to be in a closet, but you know, this is the master suite, so you got a door over there. You can shut this door. Not too bad. Still beautiful shower. Nice size walk-in closet. And who knows, you may choose to make this a nice guest suite and pick another room. I don't know, let's take a look. There's that back patio. It's Texas, so I'm not going out there. Once again, this one is also a 2-story. And again, they hide that very well. So here we have a bathroom. This will be kind of the guest bathroom because it's closest to the entertainment area. Got a closet right here. Bedroom number 1. Or 2 by now. I can count, I promise. Once again, very nice sized closets. Like, this is a pretty deep closet. Oh, I thought I was gonna hit the wall. I didn't. You even got this little nook right there. It's just kind of a fun design here with just this kind of open area. Room number 3. Another good sized closet. A little bit smaller. It's maybe a smaller kid here with smaller clothes. Dinosaur. This is going to be your utility room going into the garage. Pretty standard garage, except you have some storage right there. That's nice. Always love extra garage storage. Alrighty, let's head upstairs. This is kind of like a 1.5 stairs? I don't know. What would you call that? Just one more step. Then nice, comfy feeling landing. You think they'll notice if any of these snacks are gone? Nah, I won't do that. I won't do that. Jason's a nice guy. Who knows? Maybe you don't want as much room. You make this the master. Probably not, though. This is still a real nice guest area. Essentially, they would have the whole upstairs. Bed, bathroom, and kind of hangout area. So if you have that kid home from college or a kid that won't leave the home, sadly that wasn't an option for me, but I got married, it worked out. But that'd be a fun area just for one person to kind of claim as their area, you know? Alrighty, I think we're getting a little off topic. So now I'm going to show you where we are here on the map. So this is in Lavon. This is Grand Heritage. They are filling out their final phase. Not quite final opportunities, but there's still a couple hundred homes. So there's time to get in while the pricing's still really good. And I'll touch on pricing here later on. But if you're someone who's driven by this area, you've stopped at the light, you've seen Bloomfield homes and wondered where the homes are, it's kind of hidden and on the other side of the street. So if you take a look here, I'll show you from the air, because even when you drive by right here, it's hard to see. It just looks like another little neighborhood, but we'll go through and just show you that's quite a lot going on. So this is going to be the Redbud floor plan. 2,100 square foot, right now on the low 350s. This one is a 4-bed or 3-bed in a study. This option that we're looking at is 3-bed in a study, but I think there is something in the master that you're gonna like. And also I feel like this is a good option for maybe if you have grandma living with you. So take a look. Right by the front door, you have grandma's room. Good size room. Closet here. But even though there's a closet there, you still have kind of a traditional closet there in the front. And she's got her own little bathroom. Nothing too fancy, but it just feels kind of closed off, and that is her spot. Like I said, this can be a bedroom, but they've gone with the office here with the double glass door. Pretty nice. On this side is the utility with the mudroom, standard 2-car garage, another bedroom over here, decent sized closet. So yeah, this is going to be a 1-story. But look at all that space you get. And for $350, this is definitely one that's hard to beat. But just, I'm gonna go to this end so you can see. This is huge. Like, I don't know if you're following me or not, but still going. Still going. $350. Like, that's a lot of space. All right, let's move on. We still got the master with the cool detail that I love. A little bit of storage here. Kind of do whatever you want there. And then the master suite. Here it is. Closet. Now what's so special about closet? Aside from this one's really deep. Well, you can see in there, you got another closet. His and hers closet. Or hers and mostly hers closet. And that is a feature I love. And I can stand a open toilet if it's gonna mean 2 closets, because gosh, that's still so much room. They're probably about the same size. So tell me in the comments, is this a pretty good option for someone looking for space for them, maybe 1 kid and then grandma, or if you do the other bedroom, 2 kids and grandma? I think it's hard to beat, especially for this location, this top-notch Bloomfield quality. So yeah, let's move on to another inventory one. Now this one is not quite done. They are still painting, so we'll kind of just show you the size, but it is beautiful and huge. If you happen to get this exact home, we're at 114 Winterwood, then if you have a middle school kid, they're right next to the high school. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. Like, probably show better on the drone. Let's get that. Alrighty, like I said, working on this one. This is the Springcrest 2, almost 3,700 square feet. Just wanted to show you what that looks like on a 60-foot lot. And I'll show you here on the drone. But yeah, you kind of have this swing garage entry, 2-car there. Beautiful countertops. So yeah, this one will be ready late November, most likely. There's your media room space. Large landing. Bedroom 1. Bedroom 2. Bathroom that they all share. One with the best lighting, bedroom 3. Alrighty. The only thing we haven't seen is the master. So let's take a look at that. Making sure not to touch any of the walls. I don't know what's wet and what's not. But just look how massive this is. Now this is going to be the higher price, but we'll touch on that here later. But just look at, man, that floor, nice. Sadly, only one closet. But it's a good size closet. So yeah, if you're looking for 3,700 feet with amazing amenities, schools you can walk to, this is a great option. Alrighty, I wanted to show you what your $115 a month HOA fees gets you. The amenities here are fantastic and some very, very new. So let's take a look. At Grand Heritage, you have 2 resort-style pools with a splash pad, stocked ponds for fishing, an enormous clubhouse with rooms you can rent out from $160 to $250, or the whole thing for $2,000, and a 24-hour fitness center. Alrighty, so we're in for a treat today. We actually have Jason. He's gonna sell us. That's what he does.
That's
professionally.
right.
He's been doing it a long time. He knows the area better than anyone. Yeah. So if you want to tell us why someone should move here.
Well, so Lavon itself is totally in growth mode. I mean, I actually started here in 2013 when Bloomfield first came into Grand Heritage. Amazing how much it's grown already, and exciting to think about the next 5 to 10 years. I always tell people, I told Kyler, when I started, 78 was a 2-lane road. It's now a 6-lane road. There was no high-speed internet. We all had to have a little antenna on our roof. So that was always a fun experiment. Now we have Spectrum, we have other fiber internet providers. There definitely was not Starbucks. There was not a Specs Wine and Spirits. There was not an AutoZone. There was not all these places right 5 minutes away in Lavon like there is now. So it's I've seen this story many times. Anyone who's been in DFW a long time, you've seen cities go from kind of rural to suburban. You've seen housing, you've seen schools, you've seen roads, you've seen shopping. It's definitely the same thing we have here. What I've always liked about Lavon though is small town, a little bit slower pace, a little bit quieter feel, but you're right next to both Wiley and Rockwall. So those cities are ahead of us by maybe 5 or 10 years. So you've got 2 HEBs within 20 minutes already being built. You've got Costco's, you've got movie theaters, you've got any kind of store, restaurant, convenient thing you would need no less than probably 15 at most 20 minutes from your front door.
Yeah, you were telling me about how close some of the schools are.
Yeah, so Community ISD, it is definitely also in growth mode. They have basically doubled in size within the last 5 years from 2020 to this 2025 school year. They're projected to nearly double in the next 5 years. So all the numbers that the school district is using for their projections, if those hold true, they'll be a 6A school district more than likely by the year 2030. I mean, that puts them on par with Wiley schools, Allen, McKinney, Plano. I mean, all these big districts. So that just gives you a glimpse into how large the school district will be. They've built at least 1 new school the last 5 years, and the existing schools about 2-3 years ago, through a bond were completely renovated and expanded as well. So in our phase, it's pretty unique. You could have a student, kindergarten all the way through 8th grade, within walking distance of elementary and the brand new middle school that just opened last year. 2025 is literally the first anniversary of the opening of Community Trails Middle School. So that's something that's hard to find. I think for homeowners with kiddos at home, that's nice because you don't have to worry about a bus situation. You don't have to drive them to and from every day, especially when they get a little bit older. So it's just a convenience feature as well that's pretty rare in a lot of new home communities.
We showed on video some of the great amenities here. Yeah, just talk us through like what they're looking to pay for HOA with, I know there's a PID here.
Yes, so we are Collin County, very low tax rate. It's a little under 2%, 1.91%. You do have what's called a PID, Public Improvement District fee here. A lot of times when you get a little further out from big populated cities, you have one of two things, MUDs or PIDs. The big difference is a PID, which is what we have, is a fixed amount. Ours does not fluctuate based on the value of the home, and it's not going to go up from year to year as your taxable value goes up. So adding it all together, it's going to feel like you're paying somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2.2 to 2.4% right now, counting the county, the city, the school taxes, and that PID. HOAs here, we have a ton of amenities. Things like 24-hour fitness gyms, 3 private event rooms, and a clubhouse right around the corner from the model, 2 pools, walking trails. A lot of these things you just don't see in most neighborhoods. Our dues are a little bit higher than the average, but it's understandable when you see all those amenities. We're at about $115 per month. Whereas, average neighborhood in DFW with maybe 1 pool and some sidewalks, usually you pay probably 60 to 100 bucks a month. So I feel like we're a smidge higher, but you get a lot more bang for the buck.
Gotcha. And then as far as current opportunities, I know incentives change all the time, but can you talk us through, if someone's watching this right after we posted, what they can kind of expect?
So it is basically mid-August right now. We are, at the moment, essentially incentives are always changing month to month, but we're being really aggressive with both builds and homes that can close soon, because we have a little bit of both. Bloomfield is doing our summer flash sale on build contracts where you would build from the ground up. As long as you sign by the end of August, you get a lot of freebies and discounted what would be normally upgrades. Things like features in this model, painted cabinetry, trash can drawer in the kitchen, pendant lights that would hang over your island, a fancier 8-foot front door that has glass and iron on it. You would get upgraded wood look tile flooring at a reduced price, level 3 quartz countertops at a reduced price. So all of that would add up in most Bloomfield neighborhoods to probably $7,000 to maybe $20,000 in freebies or discounts. On top of that, our incentives range from about $12,000 all the way up to about $45,000 upgrades allowances. And that's again on builds. That would be free money that you could spend on upgraded features. Say you want to add a fireplace, a 3-car garage, a fancier kitchen. There's all sorts of different features you can choose from. When it comes to inventory, we have priced all the homes ready to go at rock bottom pricing. And we're also paying $10,000 towards closing costs, and that's with any lender that does the loan. We don't tie our incentives to a specific mortgage company. In addition, on all my sales, build or inventory, for the month of August, I'm doing free blinds and a free fridge as well. So definitely huge packages, huge discounts, great time to buy, whether you're wanting to choose everything, wait and have it built, or you need something a little bit sooner, because we have both.
Yeah, to touch on that, some of the floor plans we looked at, that Redbud right in the mid 350s, that Starcrest 2 right in that mid 550s.
Yeah, we have a broad range.
Yeah.
We go anywhere from like the 330s all the way to the 560s, 570s.
So for 3,700 square foot, that's hard to beat.
Yeah, a lot of value. And just when you see the layout of our homes, you'll notice a lot of very open designs, ton of windows. You can really see that behind us here. Natural light is huge. We tend to do more windows per room than any other builder that we compete with. So you get a lot of bang for the buck, a lot of extra features already included in there.
Well, as you can tell, Jason knows his stuff, makes my job really easy. It seems like a community you'd love to tour. Always reach out, our number's here below, and we'd be happy to set up a time to get you in front of Jason and get the numbers specific to your needs. And as always, thank you for watching.
Hope to see you soon.